Sports Today has all your sport covered. 882 6PR on Sports Today. The coaches back-to-back for Parkland Mazda, the number one team at Parkland Mazda Cannington.
On 882 6PR.
Welcome back, Ross Lyon. How was your week off?
Bit cheeky, Brad. No, it's good to get 4 points.
No. I was saying when you had the week off from us last week. I don't want to talk about the game.
How's the week before that?
No, yeah.
Yeah, no, it was okay.
Yeah,
not
good
bad.
Stuff. No.
Another week. Got a brick in the wall.
Yeah, the brick in the wall. Yeah, and the boys are still going along nicely.
Look, it's always difficult with a break. Sent them away for 5 days. We had a really good week on the track. We're confident going in, but we certainly weren't as sharp as we've been. But it's a good reminder about how difficult the competition is.
Nice to get the 4 points in what was a very ugly game of footy, Ross. You would have to say that I hadn't seen so many out of bounds on the full for a long time.
Yeah, there was about 5 or 6. It was a very uncontested game. You know what I mean? I don't think there wasn't a lot of scrimmages. We had 270 kicks, so there's a lot of uncontested ball to be had by virtue of the fact Brisbane we're having a few numbers behind the ball, which we knew going in. They'd done that against Collingwood. I don't think the Collingwood game was dissimilar with Brisbane, where it became highly kick it around a fair bit, and so but we're still disappointed with some of our skill errors and bits and pieces of defending. So, but look, we take it for what it is and we move on.
So, do you feel as though they went in with a slightly negative attitude, maybe damage control as opposed to winning?
Well, no, not so much. I think they've just been, they've been playing with a 7-man defence, a wing roll back a fair bit, which is fine because, I think you've got to understand that they're missing Merritt, they're missing Brown, and they're a young group, so, and they've been trying to counter-attack, and when they got hold of Carlton for 15 minutes, it was based on counter-attack, and in the second quarter against us, it was counter-attack football, so they're doing it with a method, and if you don't prepare for it, you can get hurt, but then when you've got the ball, you've certainly got free players everywhere. So some of our decision-making skills, we got about 90% right, but often the last kick or the second last kick was a little bit poor. So we'll learn and improve from that.
They did play pretty accountable footy, didn't they? And they were always in your face. It wasn't like they didn't come out and have a physical challenge, was it?
No, around the stoppages, it was quite physical with their tackling, but the broken play in the open field was quite uncontested, to be honest. We had 125 uncontested marks when you probably average about 70 or 80, so it was almost double. So, no, there was plenty of space to be had.
Shifting the focus to this week, you take on the Kangas, of course. It's really the last roll of the dice for them. It looks improbable that they could make the 8, given the nature of the equation, but they've shown this year already that they can match it with the best sides, just whether they can do it for long enough.
Well, their best has been elite, hasn't it? So, and I think they've probably only had one disappointing game by their standards, which was probably the Gold Coast, which was their last game. But up until then, they'd played the elite teams of the competition and headed them and been in close games. And as a young group, I think they're right on track. So they've been put under a fair bit of scrutiny. And last time they were against the Eagles, they probably had it pinched off them. So we understand what's coming over it. It's going to be quite difficult to get the points.
Mundy and Barlow would have to be in as good a form as they've been in for the club. Yeah,
it's difficult for me, obviously from the outside coming in, but they've both built back to what people consider to be their best football. And but more importantly, they're leading the team out in the ground and directing. So they've really bought in. They're real key drivers of the midfield, and we're fortunate to have them.
I've got a couple of SMSs already sent to me tonight, and I knew you'd be prepared for this. When's Pav going to play?
I wish I knew. He trained this morning. Him and Aaron and Michael Walters have trained very well again, along with Jesse Crichton. So everyone's welcome down on Wednesday for our first training session of the week, and they'll be going through their stride, so everyone can make a judgment from there. But they're certainly back in full training, and then it's a matter of how long from there.
I've got another one here. This one's a serial text. He's a Viv Michie fan. He says, "What more does Viv Michie have to do to get a game?"
Yeah, look, I sit down with Viv weekly actually and have a one-on-one, and Viv's really built, and he's missed 2 years of football and running and training, and he's certainly a ball magnet. He's exquisitely smart and skilled, and his running's really starting to reach AFL midfield standards. So Viv knows he's working on his elite fitness, and it's really come along. We're thrilled, and we're under no doubt he'll play some football at the end of the year. When that is, we don't know.
Ross, I'm sure you appreciate all of your players over the years, but Ryan Crowley's got to be one that probably stands out because he's really turned himself around. Club Champion Award winner last season and now 150-game milestone.
Yeah, I think if he was to finish tomorrow, he'd have no regrets. So, but I think if he had said that at the end of 2011, he would have had a stack of regrets. So he's got himself going. He's human. He had a lull there for a little while, but to his credit, I can't fault him since I've been through the door. But he knows he's had a couple of disappointing ones this year, and he'll get one of. I mean, you're looking at Wells, you're looking at Harvey, and Swallow. So he'll get another big task on the weekend, and it'd be nice if we can keep it going.
Mention it off the top of our program that Zac Clarke, which was announced to the media today, re-signed for a couple of years until the end of 2015. We're
absolutely thrilled. He's so important to our list. He's really grown, and I just think the way he's assumed the ruck mantle has been exceptional. I think we're seeing he's really more of a ruckman than a forward, and Leuenberger had been a form ruck of the competition, so it's a great vindication of his belief in the club, his mates at the club, and how the club can sort of give him the opportunities that he's seeking. So all round, it's a tick for the direction of the whole club.
Your small forwards have been terrific this year. Of course, Walters has been out injured in recent times, but Barlows is going okay. What about Lindsay Thomas? Who have you got set for him?
Well, he's unique. We really rate him highly. He's strong overhead. It will be one of Ibbotson, Spur, and sometimes Michael Johnson takes those taller guys and can get it to ground and go. So it'll be, and Clancy Pearce as well. So we tend to mix and match depending on where he's playing, high or low. So that doesn't narrow it down too much for you, though, does
No.
it?
Nice sprinkling. But it's nice to have options, though, isn't it? I mean, let's face it.
Yeah.
The thing is that you do have players in form, and each of them could do the job at the moment.
Yeah, what's important, we last year we had a really set back six, but we think we've got 7 or 8 now because Clancy Pearce has gone back there. We've been playing Tendai off there, and we know Stephen Hill can go there as well. So we feel like we've got 9, and in the midfield, and Subin can go back there. So we're a lot more flexible than we've been, and we know through the midfield, De Boer and Subin and Walters can go through, and Duffield's been going through the wing. So we are a more flexible team than we were last year.
Ross, in recent weeks, Carl and I have been talking about, for want of a better term, the relaxation of the rules. The umpires don't blow the whistle as much, which is terrific. But it really suits, I think, your style and certainly Sydney's style, where you love that competitive ball.
Yeah, we do love the contested ball. It's funny, I haven't noticed it in our games, but I don't know what the numbers are. But when you watch all the shows and you pick up the paper, there's clearly been a difference in the amount of free kicks paid. But then is it teams have got smarter and are adjusting and are more disciplined and not giving away the free kicks. I just think the umpires are human. I think they're an easy target, and it's really difficult to get umpires. So, I can't remember the last time I criticised an umpire and umpiring decision, because I just think there's so many other things in the game that win and lose you the game. I just think they're an easy target and the wrong target, and I think we all just need to lay off a little bit.
But do you understand the interpretation of the what a good tackle is and holding the ball or dropping the ball, or just get rid of it however you can?
No, I don't think that's correct. I think it's clear. You win the ball, you get an opportunity to get rid of the ball, and if you haven't had opportunity and you get tackled and you get dispossessed, it's play on, because as long as you're attempting to dispose of it. If you make no attempt to dispose of it,
then you get pinned.
You'll get pinned, but if you've had prior opportunity and you get tackled and you have an incorrect disposal, you get penalised as well. So I don't think it's really great at all. But the umpires are the first to tell you they make some mistakes. Now, sometimes they happen at critical moments, but that's just life. Suck it up and we all move on.
Tendai was sailing close to the win a month ago. He's playing his 50th game this week. Should he be selected?
Well, you're ahead of me. I'll actually congratulate him tomorrow, so that's nice. And But you're right. He was right on the edge, and he was almost demoted, really. So he took it on the chin, and he was fortunate to grab an opportunity, and he's been one of our better players. So it just shows that it's above the shoulders, isn't it? You've got to stay hungry.
My word. Good on you, Ross. Thanks for your time. Good luck against the Kangas this weekend.
Cheers, appreciate it. Thanks,
good stuff. Ross Lyon from the Fremantle Dockers on the other side. We'll speak to Justin Longmuir from the West Coast Eagles. Coaches back-to-back for Parkland Mazda.